What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916 getting down with Fresh Out. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share the channel, man, and let's grow this thing. Also, go to freshoutseries.com, pick up a bar of soap and wash your ass. I'm here with the homie Hector Bravo. He's an ex-CO in the California Department of Corrections. And yeah, man, he's got some crazy stories, but he was also in the Army. And I know you get a lot of people who are in the military who go into the Department of Corrections because they have a lot of the qualifications and they already know how to get down with the routine. But while you were in the Army, you had mentioned you were in Iraq, man. I mean, dude, what is some of the crazy shit that went down while you were in Iraq that people might not know about, or things that really aren't talked about? Because I know there was some crazy stuff in there, based on seeing Three Kings with Ice Cube in them and some other movies and stuff like that.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2004 was the beginning of the insurgency, meaning the guerrilla warfare type fighting. The hiding, the running, the shooting, and not the straight up, front lines. And that was an eye opener in itself, man, because that's how I assumed war was going to be. I was 19 when I deployed, and car bomb. Well, let me start off before I say car bombs, because it came in waves, man. It came, first thing was indirect fire, mortars, rockets, meaning you're chilling on your little camp and then you're getting, bombarded by rockets and just shit blowing up all around you. And that's just luck of the draw. It's all really luck of the draw, really. So then after that, they'll shoot at you, they'll do their pop shots, they'll do their ambushes, and you're kind of like, all right, bullets flying both ways, and then the roadside bombs started happening. Man, those were scary. The roadside bombs is because you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything to defend yourself from it. And by the time they go off, it's too late. Very, very rarely did we see one on the road before we approached it prior to it. So it was always boom, getting hit.
After the fact.
Getting hit. And we got hit a lot. I was in Balad. We got hit a lot. And I'm very grateful that at that time, at that time they were burying it too deep. They were burying it pretty deep in the ground, so the blast was really going up.
Oh,
thank God, because,
wow.
But then they got smart, and then they would bury it surface level, and then it would do what it did. But I got hit May 12, 2004, lost my hearing in my right ear. We actually killed a dude when that went off. The rules of engagement were different, were wild back then. It wasn't a free-for-all, but it was what they were back then.
Did you guys have a lot where you actually saw dudes you're shooting at a dude and he's right there, you can almost see him, or most you didn't really see none of the people you guys were shooting at? Or?
No, because they would run. They would hide in the wood lines, because where I was at was agricultural. So you got grapevines, you got date trees, you got watermelon fields, you got all these agriculture. So they're hiding behind these bushes or trees. So the way they would do their roadside bombs with they would artillery rounds, 2 155 rounds. They would be explosive. They'd put a copper wire, and they would be 100 meters out, hiding with a 9-volt battery. So when you drive. Yeah, straight 9-volt battery, but we know because we found it all, after we killed somebody, or if they didn't get it. Or the first one will blow up, but yet there's a second one that didn't blow up. So we killed the dude before he got to blow up the second one. But so we see it in its entirety. And 9-volt battery.
That's crazy.
It's very basic,
just boom.
Boom. And so like I said about the rules of engagement, when it used to be if an IED went off, or when an IED went off, you were opened up 360 degrees. So everybody with the gun, just
just blaze everything around.
There's houses, there's field, there's people, but that was the rules of engagement.
Damn.
Cows, there's all kinds of but the craziest thing I saw, man, this was in January. There's two things. There's the worst thing that I experienced and the craziest thing that I saw. The worst thing I experienced was having my friend get killed in front of me on my mom's birthday by a roadside bomb.
Damn.
The craziest thing was a car bomb that happened in January in Balad. This was 1 month prior to us leaving. We had already been there 12 months. So we were almost out of there and we're out on patrol. MSR Tampa was like the main road that goes from Kuwait all the way to northern Iraq. That's like a big supply. So it's constant. There's ambushes, there's roadside bombs. It's a supply route. We were doing our thing out there, regular patrol, and we hear a loud explosion. Like, boom. I mean, it was so loud, it sounded like it was on us, right? Like right near us. So my sergeant comes out of the Humvee, raises his M4, and I looked up to this sergeant too. He was experienced, combat experience. So I just looked at him and followed suit. So we're scanning, we're looking, and then you just hear the radio go crazy. A car bomb just hit. A car bomb just hit the front gate. A car bomb just hit the front gate of our camp. We're like, hey, get in the Humvees, right? Because nobody tells you what you have to do. It's you know what needs to be done, right? Get in the Humvees and go over there immediately. Well, we got there, oh man, probably like 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes after it blew up. It was not at the front gate. It was actually down the street at this circle, like a traffic circle type of deal. What it was a bus load full of Iraqi National Guard. So these are Iraqi civilians that are in their army. Like we were training them, you know, they were going to be the up and coming to take over their country. So they were like allies, like friendly forces. There was 21 dudes in that bus, and a suicide bomber and an SUV pulled up alongside of them. Detonated it, boom. Blew the bus like 50 to 100 meters, and everybody was just, dude, it was charred pieces of people everywhere. Like,
damn.
Like I could still see it. I could still see it to this day. Like, because I didn't want to get out of the Humvee, man. I didn't want to get out because I didn't want to step on all those pieces. And the crazy thing it was January, so it was cold outside. So the steam. I mean, you know when you can see your breath in the cold?
Yeah.
So the ground is just steaming, right? And I'm like, oh my God, like this is steaming because of the pieces. And I'm thinking like, this is a nightmare. Like this is something you would see in a nightmare. I'm like, but this isn't a nightmare. This is real. And my sergeant yelled, hey, get the F out of the Humvee. Help. He was saying, help come pick up the pieces. And in front of me, I see it's nothing but a waist up, and it was charred, and it was like this, sticking out of the ground, and there was not a face, it was a hole, and when they picked that person up, all kinds of like blood just slushed out of the face, and I just remember thinking like, damn. But that sergeant that I respected, that one that pulled up the gun when we first thing, he said, hey man, like, I think I've seen too much. When I go back, I'm gonna need to seek some therapy or something.
Damn.
And I remember that. I had that like reaction too in my head, like, damn, like this dude.
If he's saying he's like, damn, so he's an OG, and so
Yeah.
this shit is like some serious shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that dude like up here, and I still do, right?
Yeah.
But the way it hit me was like, oh man, like, damn, like this is gonna, this is probably not normal, you know? And I say that because when you're going through it, it's like, yeah, it's war. You're not asking for that, but like, yeah, clearly that's not normal. You cannot allow yourself to get your emotions involved in something like that.
And just like coming back from that, trying to, like you said, do it everyday life that's normal is like, you know, that whole like decompressing from that. You know, because I talked to somebody in the military, and we were talking one time about like how he was kind of high up in I want to say in the Marines, and he was talking about like, you know, he had got involved with, you know, really drinking and feeling so it's because of having dealt with all that, trying to cope with it. So he had to go through some stuff, and we were talking about like how, you know, I didn't go through anything like that, but in prison I had these nightmares of just waking up and be like hearing the doors, and it's just like, you know, because you're dealing with just a crazy environment you have no control over. So you like, it's hard. Like a lot of people, you know, they think, oh man, whatever, but like you really, you go through some emotional trauma that you don't realize until afterwards when you start really talking about like, damn, this shit is crazy.
I was a wreck when I came back, man. 2005, self-medicated, drugs, alcohol, driving fast, right? Like hooking up with chicks. I was doing everything in my power to like try to match that adrenaline, try to numb the memories, erase the memories. But it was so bad, man. I actually have 12 years of sobriety now, dude. In 2010, I got sober.
Oh, congrats on that, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. I didn't really. I don't think I got final. I think I got some closure when I went to prison in Idaho to talk, and I went on my own. Like they let me through the gates on my own, so I wasn't being led in cuffs.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So I got to talk, and the door shut, and I'm actually with the guards. I get to talk, and they having donuts and shit. And I'm like,
cool.
So I'm on this side rather than being locked up, because I used to always see people coming, man. It's like depressing. Everybody leaves, goes home.
Right.
You're stuck in prison, man. It's like, dude, it's like, damn, I got to do this for like 9 more years. Oh, man, it's crazy. So being able to leave on my own and go home, it was like, oh, man, you know, like I used to have nightmares.
No, that is closure.
Yeah, that's closure because it's full circle. Like
that's healing.
I went on my own. I left my own. I didn't go through, you know.
You gave the script a different ending.
Yes, and that really helped me like get through, you know, that because I'd have dreams like I'm in prison. I don't know how I got here. I can't get out. I can't get a date. Where's my date? I'd be like, I'd have that dream over and over again. I wake up like, damn, man, I didn't do nothing. Like I don't want to go back to prison. It's a crazy dream. I would always have that dream. And then it stopped, you know what I mean? It stopped from that. But yeah, man, you don't realize it because, you know, you're around people, you know, like you said, I wasn't in Iraq, but you're always on the edge. But in prison, you sleep around, dude. Sometimes you got to keep an eye open, man. 'Cause you know, this dude is crazy. You know, this dude right here, he's talking, oh, man, I'll step. So you're like, damn, dude, you know, you sleep with your boots on. Like, literally, these people are unstable. And they don't care.
Violent, unstable, sometimes under the influence.
Yeah. And so
evil. Some people are just plain evil.
Man, shit, man. I one time I had these guys, man, and all they did was one up each other on what they did. Oh man, I did this. Wow. Oh man, I did. I'm like, Lord, please, man. Why am I in here with this? Right. That's all. Every day they talked about this, and they would look at me, like, you know, for me to join in, and I didn't join in because I don't want to. I was really trying to. I wanted to get away from that. I didn't walk the track. You know, I don't want to embellish stories of stuff I did that led to me getting here. Right. So you have to totally make a cut. And sometimes that's because dudes like, oh, man, you think you're too good to tell a story? You don't want to walk the, you know? So I'll be like, man. But, yeah, man, it's just a lot of other things. Like you said, man, the psychological, man, it's a lot, man. Especially, like you said, you in the military and seeing it get in prison, you're like, damn, this shit is crazy. Yeah. You know?
So part of this whole journey that I'm all about, like, helping others, right? Especially people that have been through trauma. Because I've been through it and came out on the other side. And I tell them, hey, trauma is trauma. It doesn't matter. You didn't have to go to war to have PTSD. Yeah. It could be car accidents, you know, sexual assault victim, inmate that's been in prison. Prison in itself is very, very, like you said, depressing, violent. So yeah, I'm an advocate for this kind of stuff.
No, I think it's great, man. And like you said, sharing your story with people to create an understanding of, you know, what you see. I mean, dude, I just visualize when you talking about that, man. That's like in a damn movie, man. Like you said, you look, dude, you know, in the movie it's different, but real life, and then you come back and you're like, damn, now you're in real world. It's like,
yeah, man. Yeah, imagine trying to go on like a date or something, and you're young and you have that kind of memory, or it's just kind of intrusive thoughts. That's what they were. You know? And they would call them flashbacks, or the VA would refer to them as flashbacks, but they were most likely like intrusive thoughts.
Now, is there I mean, and I told another guy, he was the guy you met, he's also an ex-military. I said, man, realistically, man, I think everybody who went into the military should come back a millionaire. Just for doing a millionaire. They give it all these athletes and stuff. You guys put your life, you went through some shit that's, you know, dude, here's $1 million. Free college, free medical for the rest of your life. You know, send your kids through school. You should have that. That should be a given, man, because I think they don't take care of our veterans like they should, and they act like, oh, man, you went over there. Dude, I went over here. What have you been doing? What, you know, playing video games, dyeing your hair. You're calling me.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're saying that because I served and I want to. What are you talking about?
It's funny you should mention that, man. I got a job at a gym when I came back in 2005, just like a regular local gym, like at the front counter. And one of the dudes there, a youngster, he's like, hey, man, Hector, don't you feel bad? And I'm like, feel bad about what, man? He's like, you went to war, you saw your friends die, you come back, you have nothing to show for it? I almost snatched this dude up, dude. Shit. I was like, what? I went off on him. He took off running out the door. The manager came out. I was like, what's going on? and I had to bring myself down.
Yeah.
I don't think he realized what he was saying.
No, he didn't realize it because he hasn't done nothing.
Right.
He hasn't been through nothing, and it's not like you're bragging about. But when you go through stuff, people are like, oh man, it's like there's no respect. It's like you said. Sometimes I see like when I used to watch the VFWs march, and these OGs,
Yeah.
he might be an old man, but that old man when he was 18,
Right.
dude, he seen somebody's head been blown off for.
Right.
I know, a dude said, he was shooting and he seen bodies lifted in the air when he's in the helicopter going through and popping on the ground with a 50 cal. But he's older now, but you gotta respect these dudes. You don't have no respect, dude. Like, I lived on a military base for years in Treasure Island. Seen a lot of dudes, seen all the big naval aircraft come by and this and that. You've seen people's dads at the baseball games, soccer games, and the respect, because you see some of these dads, dude, they don't play, man. It's a different level. Like this dude, he's unseen some shit. So it's these kids, people who have never been through nothing, they're over here whining about shit that's so, dude, you know that people's lives are at stake over here for stuff, and then they get treated like shit when they get back.
I'm seeing more of it now, man. These youngsters speaking out against the OGs, and I'm like, you guys don't have no clue. Like, you're gonna get got. And I think of it recently, it's like an old dog, right? You got the little puppy pulling on the tail and gnawing at it.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long for that dog to bite, and then it.
But I wish we had more OGs telling these stories, because hearing your story, but like some of these old dudes, when I get to talking to them, like I go to a lot of old car shows, you hear an old dude, he's like, he got an old car and you start telling stories like, damn, this dude have been through some shit. This dude is like, yeah, man, he's like, oh, back in the day, I was the whoop-de-wop, I got shot right here, blah, 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 and I built this tractor with my grandma, then we bought this old Bel Air. He's like, this is a G right here. This dude is hardcore.
So one thing I was experiencing in the prison system, and it wasn't enough to push me out, it was more so annoying the fact that you would have these young gang members like talking down to me. I remember one guy like, on dead homies, come in here. And I'm thinking like, man, I got 9 of my homies tattooed on my back that got killed in Iraq, like.
No clue.
They no clue. And I'm not going to tell them.
No
clue.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably destroy him, you know what I mean? But I just never took it there, like.
Yeah. I kind of like when I go out and I see people and I kind of watch, because, some of these kids, there was that trend they were going around, they were just hitting old people, remember, and doing stuff.
Yeah,
and then, they see, oh, that's the dude from YouTube. And I look, because you guys don't have no respect, because you guys think this shit is cute. You think life is cute, man. You run around, you're doing stuff, or you jump in some shit, and you don't really realize how serious it is, but one day you'll be older, you'll be like, oh, I wasted my life and did this and that. But you guys, there's no respect. There's like you said, there's levels to the game, and you got that guy, he might look old, might look quiet. You don't know what that dude is capable of, or what he's been through.
Nah, man.
I've seen some quiet dudes in prison, you get to hear in their story, you're like, damn.
The quiet ones are the worst ones.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, man. I have a different level of respect, because like I said, I've been around, a lot of military bases, military dudes, guys who ex-military and, been through stuff. But when you really sit down and listen, and then you really let somebody start having a conversation, and you think, oh man, you was doing the whole, man, you weren't doing shit. Man, you was shooting like this, waving a gun, and you think bro, you ain't really did shit. You don't know, like there's some real G's on some other shit out there. You know,
it gets crazy, man. It gets crazy.
So, hey, man, keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for sharing that story, man. I know like stuff like that, man. But like I said, young person, man, 19, and then coming back, and then the whole, everybody just glosses over anything. Nobody wants to give these guys who they see who have been through there. Then you got the fake guys. Oh, they're trying to get money. Oh, I'm an ex-vet, man. You ain't never served, but you're out here begging for money. You're not a real. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Quit faking like you're something that you're far from.
Right.
You never been. So it's like, it's just, to me, it's disrespectful, man.
Correct.
Yep.
So,
hey everybody, Big Herc 916, fresh out, getting down with Hector Bravo. Stop walking around with a crusty butt, smelly ball sack, and a funky hoo-ha. Big Herc said, wash that ass. Pick you up a t-shirt at freshoutseries.com.